Good morning, everyone. We're going to give people a couple more minutes to log in. Welcome to today's Camp Carolina Pep Rally. I'm Julie, your camp counselor. As always, before we begin, let me cover the technical aspects of this session. As an attendee, you will be muted and will not have video. Today's session is being recorded, and by continuing in our session, you are consenting to being recorded. The recording will be made available afterwards. You can interact during the session by sending in questions using this comment section or the Q&A function. Closed captioning is also available. That covers all the technical aspects of our session. Today, you will hear from members of Carolina's marching band and the cheerleading team as they give you a behind-the-scenes look at the life of a marching Tar Heel and Carolina cheerleader. Up first, let's watch a quick video about the marching band, and then we'll go meet some of the musicians.
Well, hey there, everybody. Hope everyone's having an excellent day. As you heard, you're going to be learning a lot more about the band and the cheerleaders and everyone who makes game day special at Carolina. My name's Carson. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a Tar Heel. I'm a biology major. I'm also got a chem and music minor in the works. I'm a senior, class of 2021, and I play the trumpet. I'm going to play the first half of one of the most important songs at Carolina. You're going to be hearing it a lot come touchdowns. We call it Tag. The lyrics are that I'm a Tar Heel born, I'm a Tar Heel bred, and when I die, I'm a Tar Heel dead. Here's how it goes. So what I came to talk to you guys today about the band is one of my favorite things, which is travel. Travel is an excellent experience. I can't recommend it enough. You learn so much about different places. You get to see different schools, see what their campuses look like. You get to go to new cities, whether it's Atlanta, Georgia, or Washington, D.C. There's always something new to see when you're traveling with the football team and with the band. I got to go to a bowl game last football season. It was incredible. We got to stay at a hotel down the street from the White House. It was an excellent experience. One of my favorite band memories that I never would have had without being in the band and experiencing all these game day activities is running from the Dean Dome, the basketball stadium, all the way to Franklin Street after beating Duke during the basketball season. It was incredible. You're high on adrenaline running from up 2 or 3 hills. You're sweating, covered in paint, ecstatic from the wind. You're swimming through an ocean of people trying to meet up with everybody just to lose your mind on Franklin Street. It's an incredible experience. I can't recommend it enough. And I never would have had that if I didn't join the band. So next up, I'm going to pass it off to my good friend Melanie, who's going to tell you a little bit more about their experience and what it's like to be a member of the band. Take it away.
Hey y'all, I'm Melanie. I'm a senior also at Carolina studying history and political science, and I'm from Belmont, North Carolina. So I'm going to finish off our fight song, or otherwise known as Tag, that Carson played for us earlier. Awesome, right? So I play the clarinet, and I am also one of the drum majors for this upcoming season. So the everyday life of a marching Tar Heel consists of practice and then going to games. So our practice, we spend a lot of time learning new music and new drill, which is our movement on the field. It's very important that we spend time learning new music and drill, because we perform a new home show for each of our games. In the past, we've had shows about Bollywood, about pop music, we'll have a Latin show coming up this year. It's one of my favorite things about being in the band is the variety of music that we get to perform. Outside of practice, we spend a lot of time laughing and socializing, because the band is really a big community, and I would say a family. I like to call the band my 250 closest friends. So you'll see band kids all around campus all the time, socializing and hanging out. We have cookout runs that we do after every game. We have holiday get-togethers. We eat dinner a lot together before we go to practice. I love being a part of the MTH community, and it's really where I feel that I fit in at Carolina. And it's an amazing experience to be a part of. So now I'm going to pass you along to one of our drumline members. Take it away, Katie.
Hey y'all, I'm Katie Bridgers, and I'm from Mechanicsville, Virginia. I'm a senior. I'm double majoring in human development, family studies, and psychology with a minor in neuroscience, and I play the drums. I started playing the drums when I was in 9th grade, when I started high school. And I wanted to keep playing, so that was my main reason for joining the Marching Tar Heels. I also thought it was going to be a great way to meet people since I'm out of state, and I also enjoy going to athletic events. And like Melanie said, I've found that a lot of the band gets together, and it's been really fun to get to have a family type situation where we can talk or hang out after band practice or on holidays and stuff. My favorite part of being in the band so far has been being a part of the Focky band. The UNC Focky team is amazing. They had an undefeated season last year, and when they got to go to the national championship game at Wake Forest, we also got to go. So that has been awesome. And when they won, they got to go see the governor, and we got to go with them. So that has been one of the best memories so far, and I can't wait to see more this year. So now let's hear from our director of bands, Mr. Jeff Fuchs.
Hey, how y'all doing today? So glad you could join us. I've been the director of bands at Carolina since 1995, probably long before most of you viewing today were born. But it's been a great time to be at Carolina. I've had so many interesting students like the three you've just met. There's about 250 students in the band in all. They are representatives of every major on campus. Our alumni, our former members, are doctors, lawyers, scientists, and teachers. We have policemen and firemen who are former members of the band, lots of church workers, and even a few professional musicians out there who came through the marching Tar Heels while they were at Carolina. We practice 2 days a week for about 2 hours each time. And in addition to playing for football and men's basketball, where most of the people see us, we also have bands at women's basketball, men's and women's soccer, volleyball, field hockey, as Katie said. In the springtime, we do swimming, gymnastics, wrestling, women's basketball, softball, baseball. We even do a swim meet. So the students have the opportunity to support not only football and men's basketball, but all of our Carolina athletic teams, in addition to performing for different events on campus. And I think my favorite part of being the director of the band is that I have the opportunity to provide opportunities for the students and experiences for the students that they would otherwise never have as just a regular member of the campus community. They get to go to the NCAA basketball tournament. We've had bands at the 3 national championships since I've been here, and the other 2 before I got here. We get to go to bowl games, away football games. We get to meet the coaches and interact with the players. It's just a great time, a way to give back to the university and a way to be involved, and also a way to continue something that you may start in 5th or 6th grade and continue through high school. So it's a great thing to be involved with. So many great memories of former students that are all now part of the family. I love seeing their children come back, and not this year, but next year, I'll have the first student of a student in the band. So that'll be awesome to have back. But we don't do it alone, and that's the important thing. We work with our dance team and our cheer team to create the atmosphere at football games and basketball games and other events. And so I wanted you to get a chance to meet some of our cheerleading team. There's about 25 on our varsity squad and 25 students on our JV squad. And we're going to meet some of our varsity cheerleaders today. So I'd like to start off and introduce you to Julia.
Hi, everybody. My name is Julia. I'm a rising senior at Carolina this year. Can't even believe it. Time's gone by so fast. I'm in the journalism school at UNC. I have a major in public relations with a minor in history, and I hope to go to law school next year. I'm from Davie County, North Carolina. It's a super small town. Most people have never heard of it. Has one high school, about 3,000 people, but it's all great. I've been cheering since the 2nd grade, which is quite a long time. I started out doing all-star cheerleading, which is like competitive club team. And then I did that until high school, which my team had a competitive high school team, so I joined that. And then I did that up until I graduated, and then I joined the cheerleading team at Carolina. So I've been doing it a while, but I love it just as much as I did when I was in 2nd grade. The feeling of putting on that Carolina uniform for the first time, I can't even explain to you how much it meant. It was the feeling of all the years of hard work and dedication and perseverance finally paying off. It was the feeling of that your dream had come true. I'll always remember it. when I got my uniform, I put it on in my dorm room. And I remember sending so many pictures to my mom. I was like, look, Mom, I finally got my uniform. And it was so embarrassing, but of course, I was living my dream. But never forget it. My favorite moment as a cheerleader, oh, that's so hard because every moment that I get to spend in that uniform, surrounded by some of my best friends in the whole world and cheering on the best university in the country, is so special. But if I had to pick one, I would say getting to go to the Belk Bowl in Charlotte this past year and playing South Carolina had to have been my favorite memory. Just getting to experience that atmosphere and the excitement surrounding Mac Brown's return to Chapel Hill and then getting to see his first win. It was amazing, and it kicked off such a energetic and exciting season for us, getting to end at the bowl game in Annapolis. So I'd say that was probably my favorite, but every moment I spend in my uniform is my favorite. So now I'm going to turn it over to Tyler, who's one of my teammates, to talk to you a little more about the cheerleading team.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tyler Harden. I'm a senior at UNC Chapel Hill. I'm a biology major with a chem minor, Charlotte, North Carolina, Charlotte. And let's talk about game days. And when I say game days are one of the most unexplainable things you can experience as a cheerleader or as a spectator or as anything, I mean it. Just imagine you're in the middle of the field, you're throwing stunts, you're tumbling, the band is roaring and they're making a bunch of noise. You got the whole student section. Of course, they're all going crazy. You have the best student section in the country, right? The student section is going crazy. The whole crowd, the stadium is erupting. If you're in a basketball game, the Dean Dome is just, you can't even hear yourself think. The basketball players are hyping themselves up. The band is still going in the Dean Dome. It just echoes more. It's loud. And it's the best feeling ever. It feels like you're in a movie, you know? I don't think there's anything to describe it. The football players come out, they're hyping each other up. They're hyping us up. We're hyping each other up. It's just unbelievable. I love it. There's no other feeling like it. You feel like all eyes are on you, but all eyes are on the whole thing. You're a part of the show. And so if I had to pick my favorite game day moment, I would have to say the push-ups after touchdowns or just touchdowns in general. After we score a touchdown, there's another ecstatic moment of everybody just bursting into noise. The whole stadium goes crazy. You have people running across the end zone, sprinting with flags that spell Carolina. You have the cheerleaders, the tumblers. They're amazing. I'm on the team and I watch them every day. And yet every time I see them tumble, it just blows my mind. They're tumbling across the entire end zone. And when I say the entire end zone, I mean the entire end zone. It's an amazing thing to watch. And then here comes my part that I mentioned that I like, the push-ups. Just imagine you're on like this elevated board, your teammates are lifting you up, they're holding you up, you're in air on a board, suspended by your teammates, and you're knocking out push-ups. You score 7 points, you're knocking out 7 push-ups. It turns into a challenge. We played Mercer, we were up to like 49 push-ups, and we're sitting there cranking them out. The crowd, they're just yelling, they're counting along with you. They're just 1, 2, 3, they're hyping you up. It's just, it's a great feeling, you know, from the tumblers, the flag runners, the push-ups, the student section, the crowd, the band, the announcers, the football players hyping. It's just, I don't think words can explain it. I love it. I wouldn't change anything for it. Now I'm going to transfer over to Jordan. She's going to give you a little more insight on what it feels like to be a cheerleader. Jordan?
Thanks, Tyler. Hi, everyone. I'm Jordan. I'm from Apex, North Carolina, and I'm an exercise and sports science and neuroscience major at UNC, and I'll be a senior this year. So I'm sure you're wondering, what is the day-to-day life of a UNC cheerleader? And basically, we get up and we go to class just like every other student. And then at the end of the day, we're either at practice or workouts or an event in the community, or we're at a game. So our normal practice, we have to work on running and conditioning. We practice our tumbling skills and our stunting skills, the ones that we use at games. And we're always trying to learn something new that's fun to watch, and that we can use to like cheer on our heels better. We also go to workouts twice a week where we continue to condition and prepare for the long game days. And then we get to cheer on the football team and the men's and women's basketball teams and gymnastics meets. We get to support the heels in a variety of ways. We also attend different events in the community where we are cheering and supporting those events and those organizations. But with all that we do, my favorite moment is probably last year when we got to go to Washington, D.C. for the bowl game. We got to travel with our teammates and with all of the band members. And like Carson said, we stayed in Washington, D.C. and we cheered in a huge stadium and we ended with a win. So that was a great feeling. It was hard work paid off at the end of the season and it was totally worth it. But that's enough about me. Now we're gonna have some fun. So if you can, stand up and find some space around you because I'm gonna teach you one of our cheers that we use at all of the games. Tyler's gonna help me. So this first cheer is called Here We Go Tar Heels. So we're gonna show it to you once and then we're gonna teach it to you and then we're all gonna do it together, okay? Sound good? All right, stand up. Ready, Tyler? Here we go, Tar Heels, here we go. 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 Let's go, heels. All right, good job, guys. Now we're gonna learn it. So your first move is gonna be put your hands in fists, okay? And you're gonna bring them straight down by your side. That's on here. So you've got here. Good. And then we're gonna bring them up horizontal just like this. So we have, here we go. Good job, guys. Okay, now you're gonna give me 2 claps, just like this. Tar heels. Okay, good. Let's try that part from the beginning. So we have, here we go, tar heels. Good job. Okay, we're gonna add on. Now you're gonna make that fist again and you're gonna bring it right by your shoulder. Take your left hand, put it on your hip. Take your right hand and put it on your shoulder. Tar. Here. And then you're gonna punch it straight up to the sky. We go. Good job, girls. Okay, let's try that part. All the way from the beginning. Here we go. Tar heels. Here we go. Clap, clap. Here we go. Tar heels. Here we go. Clap, clap. Hey, you guys think we can try it all together? Yes, we got it. Ready? We're gonna try it all together. Here we go, tar heels. Here we go. 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 Good job, guys. That was great. Now you're gonna learn one more cheer that we use. Julia and Tyler are gonna help you out with that one. Bye, guys.
Hi guys, now that you've learned that first cheer, we're gonna show you one more that we do all the time on game day. I'm gonna show it to you first, and then we're gonna break it down and teach it, okay? So let's go Tar Heels. Let's go Tar Heels. Let's go Tar Heels. Let's go Tar Heels. Let's go Carolina. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do for that one is we're gonna start and we're gonna start with our right arm bent, kind of at an angle, kind of pointing up, and then we're just gonna straighten it, go, and then we're gonna keep this arm up and then do the other arm. So tar, and then straighten it again, heels. And then we're gonna clap 5 times. So clap, 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 clap. And then we're just gonna repeat that, okay? So let's go, tar, heels, clap, 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 clap. Let's go, tar, heels, clap, 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 clap. Let's go, tar, heels. All right, guys, now that we've learned it, I want you all to stand up if you can, get space so that we can practice what we're gonna cheer on our Tar Heels with this upcoming season during any sport game day that you go to. Okay, ready? Let's go Tar Heels. Let's go Tar Heels. Let's go Tar Heels. Let's go Tar Heels. All right, guys, that was great. I know you're all ready to cheer on our heels this upcoming season for game day. Now we're going to send it back to Jeff, who's going to answer some of your guys' questions. Bye, guys.
All right. We've got lots of questions coming in on our chat lines today that we want to ask some folks. And I think let's start with Tyler. So Tyler, Aaron wanted to know if you can do flips.
Yes, but I think it would be easier if I show you.
All right, let's see it.
It's fun.
All right, that's good. And we have one listener, one watcher today that questions your ability to do push-ups. So let's see 7, shall we? There you go. All right, good job. Hey, let's bring Carson in real quick. Carson, you can answer this question. One of the Evan online wants to know how long does it take us to get ready for what we do on game day? So kind of walk us through, what a normal, how many practices do we have to get ready for a typical game day?
Sure. So we'll have our band camp at the beginning of every season that happens right before the school year starts up, and that'll kind of get everyone down with the basics, learn some of the new music, all of that. That doesn't take too long, only about a week. For every game day, we'll have usually a week or two of preparation beforehand. Depends on our home football schedule. We'll do about 2 weeks on average to get a show together. Usually 2 to 3 practices a week. We have longer time to get prepared for games, if there's holidays around or, getting ready for bowl games, things like that. But generally, we're going to have about 2 weeks to get things together for a show.
Great. Thanks, Carson. And let's go with Julia next. And Julia, kind of the same kind of question from Mia. She wants to know what the practice schedule looks like for the cheerleading team.
Yeah, of course. So the practice schedule for the team is we practice Monday and Wednesday from about 5 to about 8, but it can go longer depending on where we are in the season. If it's the beginning, we might stay till like 9, just depending on how to get everything ready. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, we do an hour-long weight workout at our facility, Loudermilk. And so we have 4 days a week of always practice. And then typically, if we have a game on Saturday, we have practice on Friday to get ready for the game. So typically we have something every day of the week, but it's always fun.
All right, great. Hey, Melanie, if you'll join us, we've got a question here, just a general question. And can you kind of walk us through all the different instruments in the band?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to count them for you as I say them because I don't know off the top of my head. So we have a variety of instruments that you can play. Starting with our smallest instruments, we have the piccolos and then the flutes, and then we have the clarinet, which is what I play. We have alto saxophones, tenor saxophones, trumpets, which Carson played for us earlier, baritones, mellophones, and tubas. Did I forget anybody? I don't think so. But we also have trombones. Thank you guys. Forgot about those. Can't forget about them. They're very important to game day. So we have 10 instruments. And then we also have our drums. And then we also have a guard section, which they're the people who have the flags out on game day. They're very much a part of our visual aspect. So yeah, I think that's everybody.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and then we also have 2 majorettes who hold batons, and they're part of the guard as well. So that's good. Great, Melanie. Hey, let's bring Jordan back in. Jordan, one of our viewers would like to hear a little bit about the kind of the requirements to make the cheer team and when are tryouts held.
We usually have 2 tryouts. So we have one in the spring, and we just did a virtual one this year. And then we have one in the fall. And we have 2 teams. So we have a JV team and a varsity team. And so there's a little bit different tryouts, but you have to have some tumbling skills like back handsprings and back tucks, and stunting skills. We do co-ed stunting, and then cheerleading, like smiling and cheering in front of a crowd. And that is what we usually look for at tryouts.
Great. And finally, Katie, let's get you back on the screen too. And while the wind players, all the instruments that Melanie mentioned, there's no audition process for them. They just have to sign up and get involved, and everybody can be involved. We do have a little bit of an audition process for the drum line to see how, where everybody fits and all that. Can you kind of walk us through what that's like when how we assign members to the various instruments in the drum line, and maybe even tell us what those instruments are?
Sure. So how it works is we have an instructor named Nate Campbell. He's a great guy. And we come in on the first night, and there's like an introductory meeting, get some information, introduce yourselves. And then we go around and we kind of determine what we want to try out on. There's tenors, which are the 5 drums. There's the basses, we have 9, we have snares and cymbals. So most people, when they come in, they want to play snare coming out of high school. So there are usually a lot more people auditioning for that. But what we do is we have these exercises that I believe Nate writes, and we play them, and it's usually sight reading type things. And he moves us around so that we can see where we fit best and what music we, can master quickly. Because as Carson and Melanie and Mr. Fuchs have mentioned, we don't have a lot of time to learn things. So you have to be kind of quick at picking up on your music. So it's kind of a test and see how it works audition. It's not like a lot of one-on-one scary type things. So it's a good audition process.
That's great. Hey, Melanie, May has written a question specifically for you that we want you to answer. She writes, I have a friend who plays clarinet and it seems super hard. I know the music is a little different to a lot of other instruments. Was it difficult to learn to play clarinet, or was it relatively easy for you?
That's a great question. I started playing the clarinet when I was in 6th grade. So when I went into middle school, and it was hard at first, just because, you're learning to read music for the first time. And then you're also trying to learn how to play this instrument, and, how to hold it and how best to play it. But, as with anything that we're new at, with lots of practice, it eventually gets easier. And I've had lots of times I have a lot of time to practice, y'all. I think I'm going on my 6th year of playing the clarinet. So if it interests you, I'd say go for it, and just practice, and it'll get easier, I promise.
Right. Yeah, then the last question I'm going to answer, somebody wants to know if they can be in other bands and orchestras on campus. And absolutely, I think with all of our students, certainly in the band, we have kids who play in jazz band, orchestra, wind ensemble, and marching band. We have people all over campus doing different things. The cheerleaders are involved in more than just cheerleading, bands involved in more than just bands. So yeah, it's one thing our kids do, but not the only thing they do. Hey, we just got another question here. And let's go one on each. So Carson, the question is, and then we'll go to Julia, how many uniforms pieces do you get, and do you get to keep them? So we'll go Carson, and then Julia, you jump in after.
Sure. So in band, you'll have one uniform that you're going to wear for football games. That's the one you saw in the video with the big tall hat, the shako, and all that. You don't get to hold on to that. You probably wouldn't want to. It's nice and heavy for the winter. And then you're going to have summer uniforms and uniforms for the basketball season that you'll wear. All of us get these nice, cool shirts that you might have seen Melanie and Katie wearing as well. You get to hold on to those. You get 2 of those, and then there's going to be black slacks and black shorts that we'll be wearing as well that are part of our uniform. Maybe, Julie, you want to talk a little bit more about cheer?
Yeah, so the cheerleading team has 4 uniforms. And when it's cold outside, we wear liners underneath them. So it's like almost like different looks. And then when it's hot outside, we'll just wear our uniform, which are typically strapless, like they don't have sleeves. But yeah, we have 4. And then as Carson kind of mentioned, we get shirts, kind of like the band, but we have about 2 or 3 of those. And then everyone gets a bow. You can see Jordan wearing it too. And then, of course, no uniform is complete without our face butt here. If you're out in the community or if we're at a game, we will always have a face butt on. So yeah, that's a little bit about our uniforms. We do get to keep them during the season. We're in charge of washing them, never dry them, always hang them up. But at the end of the season, we turn them in and then we pick them up at the beginning of the next season. So yeah.
All right, another dual question here that we're going to ask and answer. So this one's going to go to Jordan and Katie in that order. And this is questions about scholarships. Are there scholarships available for cheerleading and band?
So we do not have scholarships. We try out for the team, but we do a lot of fundraising throughout the year so that we can get like attire that we raise money for. We have jackets and t-shirts and sweatshirts and shorts and honestly all kinds of stuff. And we get to do so many events in the community. It's definitely worth it.
We also don't have a scholarship we're not like scholarship athletes. The music department, I believe, has scholarships. And then there are some private type scholarships that band members can get. One comes from one of our Greek organizations, Kappa Kappa Psi, and there's some other ones available, but it's not like some schools where you get kind of paid to play in the band.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the greatest thing about both of our programs is that no one's there because they have to be there. Everyone's there because they want to be there. I'm sure the students would love to have some money to help pay for their tuition, but at the same time, it's a service to the university. It's something they want to do. Hey, Tyler, we haven't forgot about you. We've got a question for you too. Check your memory here. What's the most push-ups you've ever had to do at a game?
It was definitely the Mercer game. I want to say, I think I had 49. I think I had to do 49, and then there was one more touchdown after, and our teammate Thomas had to do the 56. But I think personally, I did 49.
All right, good. All right, just a couple more questions here before we get done with things. Julia, why don't you take this? What's the hardest cheer that you have to learn to do?
The hardest cheer. Honestly, I'd say when you're first learning, it's not a cheer, but it's our fight song tag. We have 2 tags that go to the same music, but you do tag 1 at certain times and tag 2 at certain times. So you have to learn the difference and when that occurs. But definitely learning them freshman year, tag is the hardest to learn, but you do it the most, so it becomes muscle memory.
All right. And we're going to go back over to Carson one more time. Someone wants to know if we have to memorize all of our music or if you're able to, have music in front of you, or does it vary set to, different situations?
Sure. It definitely varies situation to situation. For shows, 9 times out of 10, I'd say 99 times out of 100, you're going to have your music memorized. The only time that we'll usually have music in front of us is when we do our high school honor band show every year. That's where we get kids from high schools all over the country to come and play in their school's uniform. And usually, they don't have time to memorize a show. So we'll have music in front of us with them. In the stands, when we're playing while the football team's on the field, we'll be having music in front of us, which makes things a lot easier. Usually you're going to have music memorized for a lot of other settings like that. For example, I've got one of my favorite things about the band is game day band. That's where we have a small ensemble that goes around Chapel Hill and plays at different venues, and they've got to have all their music memorized down pat because they're going from one place to the other and they don't have time to fiddle with music. But usually for a show, you're going to have it memorized. In a lot of other situations where you're just playing and standing, you're going to have music in front of you.
All right, good. Thank you. Let's see, we've got just a couple more here that we want to ask about. Jordan, what's your favorite sport to cheer for?
I like them all in different ways. So football, I like being outside, and the weather's usually, but the weather can be a little not ideal, especially if it's pouring down rain. But the basketball course is always fun. We always have a full stadium, but football, is competing now. So I'd like them all for different reasons for sure. I don't know if I can pick one.
Good answer. Make one last pass here. Yeah, a couple things I can answer for us. There is vocal music involved in our music department, as well as string music, jazz. We have a bluegrass band. We have a Charanga Carolina, which is our salsa band that's active. We also have a beat making lab for DJs and for beat makers with turntables and whatnot. So the music department is very comprehensive, everything from the earliest music back in the medieval Renaissance times all the way through the most modern electronic music that is being created and everything in between. Someone also wanted to know about and Katie, maybe you take this one on. They asked about how difficult it is to make sure the fight song ends at the same time as the horn at basketball games. And
I think there are some critical things that need to line up in the stars. And so everyone has to be watching, which is sometimes, things are going on. Not everyone's watching. Sometimes it's hard to see, but I think it usually works. If everyone is paying attention, it's not very difficult at all. But if anyone's not paying attention, there's people still playing when it's going off or not speeding up at the right, amount.
yeah, that's something that started several years ago with the kids who sit closest to me. They would give me a time to start the fight song and see if I could get it down to 0. And they would just shout out, and some of them still do it down the alto saxes. They'll just shout out 54. And then I have to see if I can get the band to get down in time. Well, hey, this has been great. Y'all have done great answering all the questions, but there is one more question that we want to answer, and then we got to get RJ back in. Let me find the question here who brought it in. Knox Warner wanted to know, what's Ramsay's favorite food to eat? And I tell you what, Knox, it's anything that has devils in it. Deviled eggs, devil's food cake, and anything else that has a devil in it. That's what Ramsay likes to eat best. And speaking of Ramsay, it's time to get RJ back on the screen with us. So RJ, we have one question for you before we're finished. And RJ, obviously everybody likes a picture with RJ. Do you just love getting your picture taken with all the kids of all ages? All right, great. Hey, I'm going to check out. It's been great having you with us. But before we go, Tyler's going to come back on and close our program for today. Y'all have a great weekend. We look forward to seeing you at all the games. Tyler, bring this thing home for us, will you?
So actually, we're going to do a chant that we do at almost all of our sporting events. You might have heard it before. It goes tar, heels. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to call out tar, and then you're going to respond heels. We're all going to say tar, and then you respond heels. Ready? Tar.
Tar.
Tar!
Tar!
Woo!
Thank you so much to all of our speakers today, and thank you to all of you for joining us this week for Camp Carolina. Recordings of all the sessions this week can be found on the Tar Heels Together website. Go Heels!